We'd call it the 3 requisites of change. Is 1, clearing up the past, which is where someone like me would come in. Number 2 is focusing on what you want. And then number 3 is taking action towards what you want, as opposed to focusing on what you don't want and then going away from what you don't want. It's always in a positive way. It's a matter of quieting your brain, telling your brain, okay, I don't want to go that way, I want to go this way. And it's using the language of the mind to obtain the results that you want.
You have so much more power than you think you do.
Everybody's given gifts, everybody's given a mission. And it's just, I think it's like a video game. But you're born and then you have this beautiful little essence, and then it's like this hardware and all this software is put in. And now we just got to update that software in order to keep up-leveling our life, getting to that next level. And it's our job in life to kind of find our mission.
Training your brain to look for those good things is so important and is so helpful and works so well.
It's our thoughts that create the feelings. It's not the person. We think it's the person or the thing that happened. That thing happened. Now, it's in the past, doesn't exist anymore. Anytime you hear a negative thought, think of a stop sign, because that's breaking that neural pathway. And the first step is awareness. Once you have the awareness, then you can do something about it. Then you have the choice to stop it.
Get out of your own way. I love it.
When you're in that state of gratitude, it is the ultimate state of receivership.
When you're looking for things to go right, they go right.
You gotta make sure the soil's good. Because if I'm gonna plant a beautiful flower, if the soil's crappy, it's gonna die.
Get ready to love everything I am. All I want to be and understand. 'Cause I won't dim my light for no one.
Welcome to Popular, the show that will finally help you be seen and heard, because it's time that you made an impact with your voice. Your voice matters. It's time for you to be seen and heard and for you to make the difference in the world that you've always wanted to. I'm Carolee Garrison, and I'm here to interview experts on publicity, mindset, leadership, and more so that we can all discover how we can become our most magnetic selves. At its core, Popular is about knowing your worth, owning your unique superpowers, and using your gifts to make a difference in this world. What it comes down to is that if you are looking outside of yourself to feel important, it will never be enough. This is a journey of discovering your magnetic confidence from the inside out. Welcome to Popular.
It is time for another incredible episode of the Popular Podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you're having such an incredible week. I am absolutely beyond thrilled to introduce our guest today, who is going to inspire you, Mindspire you, which is all about up-leveling your mind, training your brain to do everything you always wanted to do with your life, to take control of your dreams and just really live a full and empowered life. Her name is Billie Aadmi, and she is called the Brain Trainer. She's the founder of Go Mindspire and co-founder of Amplify Impact Academy, where she trains and coaches people to get into rapport with their unconscious mind using the world's most powerful mind-body tools. Billie emanates a gentle yet powerful energy to hold space to empower individuals to unlock their full potential to reach all their goals and dreams. She's transitioning from a policing career into her new mission of up-leveling mindsets for lifelong success. I know you're going to love this episode, and when you want to follow up with her, please go click on the link in the show notes to book a call with her, because she is totally incredible. Welcome, Billie. Hi, Billie. I'm so excited to talk to you. You have some really amazing things that you do, and I would love to know what got you to this point. You are the Brain Trainer. What led you to want to work in this area? How did you decide that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, it only changed my entire life. So,
right.
But when things shift your life on such a profound level, you naturally want to learn more about it. And when I started learning about how the unconscious mind works, when I first met with a hypnotherapist, and I could not believe how different I felt after the session. And it just sent me down this rabbit hole. And I've been ever since. I just started this last year. I've been just loving it so much that I actually became a trainer and now teach this and actually designate and certify other coaches and practitioners in NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and results coaching.
Ooh, timeline therapy. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. I'm like, ooh, these are
timeline therapy. Literally was. I mean, you don't know this yet. I've been a police officer for 20 years.
wow.
And what timeline therapy does is allows you to heal trauma at the root cause without talking about the trauma. And for someone who's seen a lot of trauma in her career and also my own childhood, I loved that idea. Because as police officers, we're mandated to go see therapy. And every time I would go, I always felt worse. I'm like, why do I always feel worse? Like, it's make me feel better. And now what I know is because I was literally physiologically, neurologically going through the trauma again when I talked about it. See, the unconscious mind already knows what happened. All that's missing is it needed to upload the learnings. What lessons did you need to learn from that traumatic event that you couldn't in the moment because it was too traumatic? That now it can just upload and just releases it. And it is instant. It is not something that takes months or years or anything. Like, it literally within seconds, once it's uploaded, it releases it. And people feel it. Their pain goes away. All of a sudden it's quiet in their head. We've had one girl who's like, I've meditated for hours and hours on it and never had this much quiet in my head after one session of timeline therapy.
Wow.
And not many people know about it. I mean, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I was like, you listed all these things and I was like, those are all so amazing. And then timeline, I did a bunch of inner child work over the summer that was like, I mean, it's deep. It's it brings up stuff, but it involved, like, I have my timeline next to me. I don't know if you can see it. I have my whole timeline that I wrote out and I'm still digging through because I couldn't remember my childhood. I couldn't remember like anything that had happened to me.
Our goal is to make the most amount of change with the least amount of work. If you think of weeds, like a weed growing, all these little things that have happened, so all those little sticky notes are weeds. If you cut those weeds up off the top of the surface, they're just going to keep growing back. If you cut them in the middle, you might give you a little bit of time. You might feel okay for a little bit, except they'll eventually grow back. What we do is pull the root because all of it's connected. And so when you pull the root that all these significant emotional events are attached to, you just all unravels. And so instead of, like, we work from the inside out, whereas most people work from the outside in. Well, let's peel back the onions of the layer, or the layers of the onion, I should say. So we go back to the core of it. So what are those core limiting beliefs? And they're usually one of four or a combination that all of humanity share. Unlovable, unworthy, not good enough, or powerless. Every other self-limiting belief is an extension of that. So again, we're like, okay, well, I don't want to just deal with my, I'm not confident. Well, where's the not confident coming from? Well, you don't feel worthy. Well, let's just deal with the not worthy and the rest of it will sort itself out. And so we deal with the root cause so that once we pull the root, it's clear. And we do that with the top 7 negative emotions too, which is anger, shame, hurt, guilt, rage, sadness, and fear.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, and I love how you talked about, like, okay, confidence, because confidence is sort of like, it's the goal, right? It's like, okay, well, what do I want in my life? I want to show up more confidently. I want to get on stages and be able to perform, and there's something holding me back, but I can't figure out what it is. And that's because I'm just looking at the top service level. And you're going, no, you have to dig deep. You have to go find the root cause of why you are not able to get up there and use your voice and show up confidently. Like, what is actually holding you back, and work through that. And
I love what you said there. It's out of your awareness, because if it was in your awareness, you'd fix it. And that's what I love about working with the unconscious mind is we go deep and we tap into, like, we actually call ourselves tour guides. We're just the tour guide. Your unconscious mind is going to go exactly where it needs to go to resolve whatever it needs to resolve, and it will release it. And we don't need to talk about it anymore because the unconscious mind already knows what happened. So why relive it? Why bring it into the conscious awareness? That's why people get caught up in their feelings and their thoughts, is when they bring those incidences from the past back into the now. And I just worked with a woman who got stuck in it. She got re-traumatized by just talking about it. And I had to go in with the timeline therapy and release it. And with one session, it was gone.
Wow. So powerful.
Yeah. And that's why it's my mission now to share timeline therapy with the world, because everybody knows about hypnotherapy. It's been around since millennia. It's still very, very powerful technique, except we use hypnotherapy at the end. because people will say, well, come just put some suggestions into, into my unconscious. I'm like, I got to make sure the soil's good, because if I'm going to plant a beautiful flower, if the soil's crappy, it's going to die.
I love
And
that
so
analogy.
I always speak in analogies because we're talking about the formless. We can't really explain what it is.
Well, and what's so powerful about analogies is it's going to depend on your level of understanding, and the deeper that you're able to go, like the more meaning that analogy is going to have for you. And so it becomes more powerful to you the greater you are able to go with it.
Exactly. I use analogies all the time. And it's just a matter of I'll give you this is a little snow globe. I have this snow globe, and people are like, you just need to let the snow globe settle, because the instructions on how to open it, I couldn't read it because it was all, messed up. So I'm like, as soon as I let it calm down, the message was there.
Get out of your own way. I love it.
And that's all it is you just have to get quiet. And you're always thinking about all these things, these thoughts, and we're so busy. And, social media does not help, like the fact that we can constantly just be, like our brains just constantly going. We're so dissociated all the time.
Yeah.
But just taking a breath, getting back into your body and just learning to listen, because the wisdom's there. You just have to quiet. Like I say, just put down the damn snow globe and get out of your own way.
Yeah. Let it all settle. Like we're so addicted to flight, fight, freeze, fawn. Like we're so addicted to the nope, I got to be productive, got to do something else, got to keep going. It's so hard to set that down and just allow ourselves to be, and know that like we're allowed to just be. We have,
and it's just a program, right? These are all programs that are given to us, and so most of us, our inner 5-year-old is running our life, because those programs were given to us when we were children.
Yeah.
And so whatever, like if you were a child and you felt, you got yelled at and you felt like you were not good enough, guess what? That theme's running your life. And you don't even realize it. Or if you felt like you're powerless, that theme's running your life and people don't realize it. And when we do these works and we figure out people's strategies and their patterns, and they're like, holy crap, I had no idea. I'm like, of course you did it.
Well, and then it shows up in the way that you treat people, in the way that you show up at work, in the way that you show up in every single thing you do, which is why changing these stories, doing this inner work changes your whole life.
Totally. Everybody is sitting in perfect mental health. They just don't know it because their thought is contaminating that.
Wow. That's powerful. Tell me about what Mindspire is.
So I came up with that word because I thought if you can just have a little bit of inspiration, your mind can go to infinite possibilities. Have you ever heard that saying that you're more than you can think?
I think so. That's beautiful.
Like you literally are more than you can think.
Yeah.
We live in our conscious mind all the time, even though we are in trance about 80 to 95% of the day. Now it's a matter of what trance are you in? Are you in the victim trance? Or are you in the hero trance? Are you playing the horror show? Or are you playing the love story? And these tools that now that I train, it just helps that those filters come out with the love story as opposed to the horror show, because they're just programs. It's just the way our neurology is. And the great thing is we have like 10 to the 10th to the 11th power of neural pathways in our bodies. That's like more than all the grains of sand in all the beaches in the entire world. So when people are like, I can't change, I'm like, that's literally how many opportunities you have to change. And it's a matter of quieting your brain, telling your brain, okay, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. And this is what neurolinguistic programming is it's training, it's using the language of the mind to obtain the results that you want. But first we got to clean it up. So we work on an entire system. That's why we use the timeline therapy first to clear all that trauma, create the space. Then we use the neurolinguistic programming to figure out, okay, what patterns, what strategies are running. Let's shift those. And then we use the hypnotherapy more for the future, because now we want to have a compelling new future as opposed to dealing with the past. We've already dealt with it. So we work with the past, present, and the future in that order.
Yeah. And I love the combination of all of these modalities. And I feel like what it really is coming down to is like, you have so much more power than you think you do. You have
all the
power. Yeah.
Everybody's given gifts. Everybody's given a mission. And it's just, I think it's like a video game. It's a matter, you're born, and then all, you have this beautiful little essence, and then it's like this hardware and all this software is put in. And now we just got to update that software in order to keep up leveling our life, getting to that next level. And it's our job in life to kind of find our mission. And now finally, after, 20 years of policing, I found my mission. And I actually went to school to be a teacher, and now I know why. Because I kept thinking, I'm like, why the hell did I waste all that years in schooling to become a teacher? And it wasn't because I wasn't meant to teach elementary school. I wasn't meant to teach police courses. I was meant to teach this because it comes so naturally for me. And it's shifted my life. Like literally, I started this work last May. So it's just over a year and my life has completely shifted. I'm retiring from policing after 20 years. I'm financially free. Like my business is taking off and I have no business experience. It just shows that once you get out of your own way, the resources comes and life just flows where you need it to go.
When it's aligned, it just is. What was that shifting point? What made you go, no, I need to transition. I need to change. I need to really step into what I was meant to do.
Like I said, I met that hypnotherapist and I had a session with her and I couldn't believe how powerful it was.
Yeah.
And I just was like, more people need to know this because people are living in needless suffering. And again, they're in that perfect mental health. They just need help getting back to that light.
There's a lot of identity work, right? Though that comes with changing something, you've been doing this for 20 plus years and now you're shifting what often becomes like a core piece of who we are. What was that like?
It's a great question. You have to become, like I went through a really dark time, as many of us have been through, especially since the pandemic and all that. I needed to go through that. I needed to become who I needed to be in that moment in order to survive. And we put up a lot of armor and we put up a lot of these, these sub-personalities, we call them, to kind of protect ourselves. And now I'm like, I need to shed that. So I'm grieving that old part of myself and celebrating this new part of me and this new version of me. And I look back at life now with utter gratitude because if none of those crappy things happened, I wouldn't have been able to have such a powerful story now. And I wouldn't have been as strong and resilient and powerful as I am now. And I wouldn't be such a great role model for my children now if none of those things happened. Because imagine if it's all rainbows and unicorns, you're not growing. It's just this.
Yeah, we need that contrast.
Yeah, that's how the lessons happen. And if you don't have those lessons, then how are you going to learn? It's just a matter of, are you listening? Or are you putting it to be like, no, thanks, I don't want to hear that right now. And then the universe will get louder and it'll get louder and louder until people don't fall into the ditch or the
Well, and as far as metaphors go, isn't it the trees that experience the most wind that are the strongest?
Yep, totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need that wind, right, in our lives to become our most powerful selves.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard that saying that, life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it.
Yes.
But the other way around, right? They're here on victim island, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me. This, I'm such a good person. Why'd this happen? I don't know. Why does life never work for me? Cancel. And get over here to Solution City. Because now when you look at it, like, okay, life is happening for me, not to me.
Yeah.
That's where living on Solution City. And I joke about it. I'm like, I used to be parked hard over here, invite the girls over for margaritas and be like, come listen to my sob story. And then I realized it was no fun anymore. And so over here, like, I'm like, oh, there's way better restaurants and there's amusement parks. It's a lot more fun over here on Solution City. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes I go back to Victim Island because life happens, except I recognize it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And I want to get back over here.
Yeah.
And now luckily I have this beautiful speedboat that I just jump in my speedboat and I zip back to my beachfront condo and I'm just living life because I don't let it get me down anymore because it's my choice.
Yeah.
And that's what was a big learning for me was that, I used to get mad at like, oh, I can't believe so-and-so hurt me. That whatever happened is in the past. It's the thought of what that person did now that is creating that feeling of anger or fear or sadness or whatever it is. It's our thoughts that create the feelings. It's not the person. We think it's the person or the thing that happened. That thing happened. Now it's in the past, doesn't exist anymore. So if we can control and say, you know what, think of, that taxi stand analogy. If you think of thoughts like taxis and you're standing on the taxi stand, if the fear cab comes along, and you get in that cab, guess what? It's going to be a scary ride.
Yeah.
If you don't get in, it's just going to drive off into the horizon. Now, if the stress cab shows up, you come in, it's not going to be a very fun ride, is it? If the joy cab comes in, get in there and go for a little drive.
Yeah.
So do you want to be in the crappy cab or the happy cab? That's kind of way. It's like, it's your choice. Which thoughts are you going to entertain, or which thoughts are you going to just let off driving off into the sunset? Because we can't stop our thoughts.
They're like, I love this. They're all going to appear. Just which bandwagon are you going to jump on?
Exactly. And we do. And, I do that sometimes too. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I can't believe this happened. And then I stop myself. I'm like, Billy, what are you doing? Stop giving it attention. Think of all the good things. It's just a perspective, right?
Yes, I love it. So what if you could give them like one step? If somebody's resonating with this and they're like, oh, I've been speaking really crappily to myself for a long time. What's kind of the first thing they can do to start transforming their lives?
Yeah, great question. And you kind of touched on it already. I mean, we teach something called the client's journey. And the first step is like, you have the pain, right? Pain means pay attention. So if you're not paying attention, it's just going to get louder and louder. So whether that's physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, financial pain, if something's not working, pay attention. And that first step is awareness. And so one of the first things we give our clients, or we teach our coaches to do with their clients, is that anytime you hear a negative thought, think of a stop sign, because that's breaking that neural pathway. And the first step is awareness. Once you have the awareness, then you can do something about it. Then you have the choice to stop it. If you don't even, and the majority of people are like, holy crap, I had no idea I was talking to myself that bad. Yeah. Right. And it'll get better and better and better. And then I always tell my clients to have a gratitude journal at night. Think of 5 things that you were thankful for that day. Little things like a hummingbird. I saw a hummingbird outside, or, my daughter came and gave me just a kiss on my arm for no reason. Or, my dog gave me a cuddle, something little, because when you're in that state of gratitude, it is the ultimate state of receivership. The whole law of attraction. It will give you more things to be grateful for. And there's something called the reticular activation system in your brain, that if you program it to look for things to be grateful for, as opposed to complain about, because again, that's just a program, we can reprogram to what we're looking for. And then
yes, so true. Because the thing that always comes up for me is when I'm in a bad mood, things go wrong 10 times more often. I'm always hitting my elbows on things. Nothing will tie right. Like I'm tripping, like things are always going wrong when I'm in a bad mood. It's because of that reticular activating system, because when you're looking for things to go wrong, they go wrong. And when you're looking for things to go right, they go right. That's why that gratitude journal and like training your brain to look for those good things is so important and is so helpful and works so well.
That's why I call myself a brain trainer. It's like a personal trainer for your brain. I used to be a personal trainer, and I would tell people like, okay, I can teach you how to do the bicep curl, except you're the one who's going to have to go to the gym and actually do pumping. And you don't just go to the gym once and be like, okay, I'm good, I'm healthy, right? It's a lifestyle, and so you have to train it, because again, it's reprogrammable.
It's a muscle to build.
Exactly. And so that's where, we don't encourage codependency on us as coaches. We say, no, I'll help you clear the past with some of these tools and stuff I have, because you can't be consciously unconscious. So sometimes you need help with as the tour guide, I should say, because your unconscious mind is the coach. And the next, we call it the 3 requisites of change. Is 1, clearing up the past, which is where someone like me would come in. Number 2 is focusing on what you want. And then number 3 is taking action towards what you want, as opposed to focusing on what you don't want and then going away from what you don't want. It's always in a positive way, because that's how the universe responds. Yeah. Because the unconscious mind doesn't process negatives. Because if I were to say to you right now, Carolee, like, don't think of a blue tree, you probably thought of a blue tree, right?
Instantly. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you have to tell your brain, don't think of a blue tree, think of a pink tree, or think of a green tree.
Right.
And that's how our brain works. So that's why it's so important. Focus. That's why that first thing we say is like, start taking inventory of how many bad thoughts you have.
Yeah.
Retraining it to have good thoughts.
Train your brain. It's actually a line in my song I wrote, was like, retrain your brain. Love that. Nice. Favorite. Okay. This has been so amazing. Can you please tell us how we can find you and follow you and work with you and all of the things?
Yeah, I'm on all the socials. I'm on Instagram, go.mindspire. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I have my website is gomindspire.com. I'm always teaching courses, workshops, we're doing webinars. I do lots of value posts on my Instagram as well. And yeah, it's just a little nugget. And I always tell my audience, if something resonated with you and something that you heard, go in that direction, because that means your brain's like, yeah, we need to go that way. There's something for us to learn there.
I love it.
What you don't know.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Popular, your key to magnetic confidence. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend, someone who needs to know how much their voice matters. For more information on booking private sessions with me, as well as my available courses, check out caroldegarrison.com. Remember, when you know your true value, you glow from the inside out. Tune in next week for another reminder of just how amazing you really are.